warrior is defined as a brave, experienced fighter who never surrenders. Come, explore the journey of a warrior of life. Feel their struggle. Witness their biggest fights for survival. Celebrate their triumphs. Come, find the warrior in you. This is Words of a Warrior podcast.
Production. I don't think I can top that, but let me try. I'm Daryl Chambers. I'll be the host of the Words of a Warrior podcast for now and forever. So get used to the voice if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or any other platform. If you're watching on YouTube, get used to the face, even though you may not see it today because it's audio only. But you will see snippets of today's guest doing his thing, but we'll get into that. I'm not going to introduce him just yet. Let me tell you why this podcast has been set up. And for the main reason, again, just to reiterate, this is the Words of a Warrior podcast. I believe that everybody has a chance in life to either attack obstacles and different problems that we face, or we can retreat, okay? The people that I'm going to be bringing onto this podcast, I really, really do believe that they're warriors, and I think top achievers. And others would agree that they're top achievers in their fields. Now, being a top achiever doesn't mean you always win. And that's not the case at all. We all take losses. It's how you see that loss. It's how you define a loss, and never say you're a failure, because a loss doesn't define you. You define you. And I'm going to define everyone that comes onto this podcast as warriors, because they face life, they fight in life. And that being said, let me bring you today's guest, who's going to share so much wisdom, and his journey so far has been incredible. And it's only just starting. This is the thing. You're going to get so much insight into this young man's life, and the journey's just starting. So let me introduce to you.
Yes.
It is Delicious.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast, man.
No, it's a pleasure. I mean, you're the first guest, and someone I've not known too long, but just seeing your journey and how you approach things, and
Yeah, man.
I guess your achievement level so far, it's been incredible. So tell them a bit about who you are, and then we'll really jump into the podcast.
Yeah, man. I am privileged for you to have me on your podcast. My name is Delicious Orie. I am 21 years old. I would say I've been boxing now for about 3 years. I'm at university, living my best life. Yeah.
Nice. So, of course, the boxing thing is of interest to me mainly, but again, you're not defined by just being a boxer. There's a lot of different strands to what you're doing. You're at university and what you did. So let's go back to a delicious. Let's go back to a delicious of 8 years, 10 years, 10 years of age. What are your interests? What's your area looking like? You know, what's your family? What's that looking like as well?
I would say when I was about 9-10 years old, I was just, your average kid. I enjoyed sport, video games, all that. I grew up with a, loving, nice family. I've got no problems with the family.
Right.
I would say that's, maybe one of the main reasons why, I'm motivated and, I'm striving to do, the best I could do because of family. But yeah, I'll say I've always been sporty. I've always, played sport when I was young. I played basketball. That was my thing. I've had dreams. That was my dream to, be a basketballer in America, all of that. And I've always been striving, but I would say when I was around 17, 18, that's when things started to change a little bit for me, and my sport kind of choices started to change, for different reasons.
Okay, so just to fly back in time then, really, Delicious. What age was you when you got into basketball?
So I seriously got into it when I was about 11. So I thought to myself, I told my mom, yeah, mom, I want to be a basketballer. I'm older. That's what I want to do. And 11 years old, I started. I played all the way through secondary school, all the way through sixth form. Yeah, man, yeah.
Okay, and very quickly, for those that can't see the height right now, okay, how tall are you, Delicious?
I'll say I'm about 6'5".
Okay, good. And was you always a tall kid growing up?
Yeah. I've always been the taller one. Always been the taller one, yeah.
Did you find basketball, or did you find, because of your height and being tall, that people kind of naturally wanted you to kind of, and was pushing you towards, or did you just find it yourself?
You know what, I would like to say I found it myself. I've always, no one's really told me, because, England, growing up in England, it's football, in it. It's football in primary schools. You play football in secondary school. Yeah. But I've found something in basketball, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think I thought I just stuck to it, and I just carried on until, yeah, man, I got quite good at it.
Okay. So you got quite okay. So you got into it when you was 11.
Yeah.
In what area? What area was you playing? What team was you playing for?
I started with Wolverhampton Slam. So started with them in Wolverhampton basically, and then I moved when I was about 15, 16. I moved to Albion, so West Bromwich Albion Basketball Club.
Okay, and was the caliber of competition a lot higher?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. The competition was higher. People were good. People got better.
Okay.
As I started getting older, and like the competition was there. Yeah.
Was you playing with people your age at West Brom?
Yeah, I was playing with people my age. Even I would sometimes step up and play with the men.
Okay.
Just to get further experience, and I'm always looking to get better, improve myself. So yeah.
Of course. Okay. So where? Again, you was playing for West Brom. So what kind of team was you playing? Was it kind of regional, national?
It was on a regional level actually. But we was in the highest league, so we'd play with top teams. It wasn't something we'd do for leisure. It's something we would train hard for.
Okay.
So yeah, I did play with good national players.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And how much times a week was you training?
Oh man, I would say every day.
Every day, wow.
Every day.
At what, 15, 16?
Yeah, 15, 16. I would put, because I had a vision then, and it was to be a basketballer. So I would train very, very hard, and I would have a couple of friends that would train hard with me as well. So it was something that we shared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you find a lot of your friends at that time were mainly in basketball and not in the area where you grew up?
It's a mixture. So I would have friends that are not interested in basketball, and I'll have friends that were. But the friends that I'll have around in the basketball kind of community really did push me in terms of my mentality. It pushed me in terms of, it just got me stronger as a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're hanging around 15, 16, you have these dreams of becoming an MMA. That's MMA.
Yeah.
That's my sport. I'm trying to push my dreams. I want to live through you. No, so you have dreams of playing in the NBA, and you're training 5 times a week. So what was the next progression? So you're at West Brom, you're 15. The next thing would have been, I guess, kind of look towards the national team and go towards that. Did you ever realize that dream? Did you train with the national team, or did something happen?
So I tried to get on the England kind of the trials of the basketball, but to be fair, that never really happened for me.
Okay.
It was difficult. I had friends that did get in there. I didn't really manage to get on there. So I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? How can I improve on myself? And I just kept playing until about 16, 17. It kind of hit me. I was thinking, if I don't do anything now, then I'll end up just playing for a uni team in university. And I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? So that was one of the main reasons I switched it up. And I thought, maybe if I try something else. Maybe if I try something else and kind of change, still train hard and still have ambitions, but maybe in a different sport. And that's exactly what happened.
That's interesting, Delicious. Really interesting. So you would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, so you're playing basketball, you never made it onto the national team, but some of your friends did.
Yeah.
Did you always think your friends were more skilled than you, or did you think that they just got that shot and they flourished with it?
I think in any sport, even in life, sometimes you need luck, and luck does play a part. So I was thinking maybe I wasn't lucky enough. I didn't get that opportunity.
Chance.
And that's what happened.
Okay, so so you've had this dream since you was 11 at least, to kind of get into the NBA, and now you. Not saying you're coming to the realization that you're not going to achieve it, but you're thinking about other options. But let's take you back to when you was that age. Are you immediately thinking, let me try something else? Or are you thinking, maybe these big dreams are not for me?
I've always had, boxing was always in the back of my mind ever since I was young, but I was not able to get into it because of family, and my family always told me, you can't.
Got you.
It's not. You're not the type of person. It's not. It's just not you. So that kind of hindered my opportunities to actually join a boxing gym earlier.
Interesting.
But when I was about 17, 18, I thought, I'm have to, put matters in my own hands, and if I genuinely think I could do something, I should do it, and not wait for the opinion or ask opinion from even you know what, even family members.
Yeah.
Even family members, if I have to say.
And that's huge. Okay, so let me just bring you to kind of where we're going, everybody. So what Delicious has just said is that his family, the ones that probably loved him the most, right? They wanted a certain life for him. They wanted to kind of tell him what to do. And this has happened through history with different people. Conor McGregor is a great one to bring up because he started an apprenticeship that, I don't know if you know this, Delicious, he started an apprenticeship that his mom and his dad kind of got him on, and it wasn't for him. He always had dreams of being a fighter. So he quit the apprenticeship. Obviously, his family, he still loved his family, but he said, you know what, I need to follow my own path. And I think we all get to that point where there's people around us that want the best to us, that we might even look up to. But again, it's a thing of not living their life and realizing, you know what, there's something inside of us that will really tell us, this is what you need to pursue and this is where you need to go. But a lot of people don't follow that path a lot of the time. So at 18 years old, so you're still living at home at that time, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, so you're living at home and you've said to your parents, you know what? Did you tell your parents or did you kind of just go to the gym?
No, I initially just went to the gym because I knew what their response was going to be in the first place. I thought, what's the point of asking?
Yeah,
you know? But yeah, I went to the gym for the first time in Wolverhampton. I thought, I've never punched anybody, never punched anything. Never. Fighting was not in my background. My dad's never done it. My uncle's never done it. Nothing like that. But I was thinking, you know, maybe there's something in it. I had a vision, and I thought maybe potentially I could do something with this. So I went in the gym for the first time, and I just started training. And from then, I fell in love with it.
That's interesting. Okay, so you said you had a vision and you wanted to follow a passion.
Yeah.
How did you not let doing 5 years, 6 years of basketball and not reaching the highest stage? How did you not let that really cripple you and really say, you know what, maybe I'm not a top achiever? Because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
We face failure in one avenue and really there's something, maybe greatness lined up for us, but we don't believe it. But you, for some reason, you bounce back and that's
yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that question. I just had something in me. I believed. That's all I could say. I genuinely believed that. I thought I could genuinely do it, and I could transfer everything I've learned in basketball, you know, the footwork and all that stuff, and kind of put it into boxing. I genuinely believed in myself, and I thought, yeah, I could do it. And yeah, ever since then, till now, I'm still the same thing. I genuinely believe that I can do it, and you know, maybe that's what's got me to the place I am today.
I love that. You say you genuinely believe you can do it.
Yeah.
And I know you have an idea of what do it is.
Yeah,
so obviously we're gonna time lapse forward just to bring it back to where you are. But when you say do it, and you're referring to boxing, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
What is it for you? What is that big goal in boxing that you think, you know what, this is what I'm gonna go for. This is what I'm training.
I think the main goal is I want people to see the work that I've been putting in through what I achieve, and if it's in boxing, then it will be through boxing. And I thought, yeah, if I put in the work, I want people to see what I'm working for.
Okay.
And I think boxing is probably one of the best ways to show that.
It's a grind. It's an absolute
it is
grind.
Man.
All right, so let's go back to being 18. I just wanted to know what it was. I wanted you to say that you wanted to be the world heavyweight champion. Undisputed heavyweight champion, right? Okay, so 18 years old, you go into the gym, don't tell your parents.
Okay,
so you go into the gym. Yeah, go, carry on.
Okay, so I walk into the gym. This is Wolverhampton ABC. I walk in there and I see a coach and I'm like, okay. I have no idea boxing. I didn't know the difference between amateur boxing, professional boxing, white collar boxing. I just walked in there and I thought, I want to be a boxer. Could you make me a boxer? Yeah. And one of the coaches looked at me and goes, okay, then let's see how you do in the bag. And I was training on the bags, and it was just kind of the same thing on and off for about a week or two. I was just doing the same thing in the bag, constantly just punching the bag, until one of the coaches kind of noticed me and said, "Okay, let's train you properly. Let's do this properly. Let's train you properly." So I was doing shadow boxing, the basic thing, throwing the jab for about a month. I was doing the same thing over and over again, just the same for about a month. And you know, I never did pad work or anything like that. It was just the most basic things I was doing for a month. But I kept that fire in me. I was constantly. I had that same mentality for about a couple of months. I still have the same mentality now. But at the start, it was some next man motivation. I can never explain to you how motivated I was. I think it was maybe it's because I was, I don't know, I just probably didn't see. It was kind of like a blur.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect. So I was just motivated. I just thought, I'm just gonna do it.
Okay.
And yeah, I boxed. I was training for quite a long time, for about 8 months, and then I moved to Birmingham, one of the Birmingham gyms.
Okay.
Called Jericho Boxing Club. And when I went to that gym, I thought, yeah, this is it. This is where I'm gonna make my mark, right here in Birmingham. And
nice.
ever since then, I've got the best team behind me, right? That they've noticed that. I'm driving, I'm pushing, I want it, and I've got about 5 or 6 people behind me now that are just want me to reach my goal, which I'm so happy. I'm proud that I've got.
That's to have a supportive network behind you is huge.
Yeah.
So we've gone forward a bit to reach your goal. See how I keep trying to I keep trying. Okay, so we'll get to that. Okay, so 8 months at Wolverhampton ABC. I never really got the one-to-one training that you.
No.
But you said the motivation was crazy, right?
Yeah. So
the motivation comes from somewhere, but you said you wasn't sure where you found it.
I'll tell you, I have no idea where I got it from. It just hit me. It just hit me, and I thought, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it to the best of my, power, my will. And I thought to myself, if I do this now, if I start boxing at 18, 19, either I do it properly or I don't do it at all.
True.
Because boxing is a sport that you don't play around with boxing. It's either you do it properly or you don't do it, because you get yourself hurt. And that's what I told myself from the start, and that's how I still look at it now. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. If I'm not going to do it, I just do something else, because there's other things in life that you could do and still be successful in without hurting yourself and hurting, physically. So I thought about it, and I thought, okay, I'll do it properly, and I'm still doing it now.
And you say before going to this boxing gym, you never got into any type of fights, altercations? Wasn't naturally kind of an aggressor?
No, I'm not an aggressive person at all.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at, and I just want to hear you, because again, I come from a boxing background and I know it myself, but people still see boxing as a very violent sport.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember the first time you sparred?
Yes, I do remember the first time.
Was that at Wolverhampton or Drury?
It was at Wolverhampton.
Was that kind of an awakening, or did you kind of prove something to yourself, or maybe amaze yourself? How was the first sparring session?
At the start, I remember the first sparring session. It wasn't very nice. It was quite brutal. It was quite brutal because it wasn't controlled or anything, so it was just straight in there.
Okay.
And at the start, I felt confident. I felt, because I was ignorant, I would say, to the sport. I didn't understand it properly. I didn't understand sparring. The first session really opened my eyes in boxing. I taught myself, what am I gaining from this? After that spar, I thought to myself, because I'm not gonna lie, I did get battered. I got battered, and
See, that's crazy to me. What I'm trying to really delve into is some of the character traits that you've expressed through time, because you've gone into there, you don't know this sport.
No.
Not an aggressive person naturally, but something's burning inside of you, telling you, what, this might be for you.
For
you spar, and that spar clearly wasn't for you.
No.
So some people take that case of one inside, I can train harder. Maybe I'm athletic, but I can take that athleticism elsewhere. But no, you didn't. You said, you know what? So what was your attitude coming out of that spar? Can you remember back then?
Yeah, I come out of it, and my coach was talking to me, goes, you can work on this, you can work on this. I just took on what he told me. He said, you need to work on the jab, you need to, move your head a little more. I just took it, and I thought, okay, I'll go home and I'll work on it. Went home that night in the mirror, just doing the same thing over and over again, jab, move my head. And I just kept doing that, and I sparred again, and I going back home, improved on it, sparred again, went back home, improving it. I didn't let my feelings and my emotions get the whole best of me. And that's it's the same now. I would spar guys who are way more experienced than I am, and some of them will give me a good spar. Some of them will really push me in the ring. But it's when you come out, how are you gonna take that? How are you gonna learn from it and move on? Yeah, that's the way I look at it. So
that comes back to kind of the words of a warrior, and what we really define as warriors is when an obstacle, I guess
Yeah.
we could say it was an obstacle.
Yeah,
When you're faced with it, how do you deal with it? Are you going to attack it?
Yeah.
There's a great book which is The Obstacle Becomes the Way, meaning the obstacle's in the path, but you can just go through the obstacle around it rather than trying to swerve it and turning away or finding a longer route. Now you go through it, you attack these problems. Love that. Okay, so moving forward, you found jewelry quarter now. Let's keep it boxing for a second. So how old are you going into jewelry quarter?
So I was 19, so coming to 19. I've never had no fights yet.
No,
So
okay.
I was 19 years old when I moved into jewelry quarter, and I seen the coach was great, and all the coaches were great. Everything was great. So I was just training there, learning the trade even better. And then I think I started to notice that everyone started to notice that I was really motivated about what I want to do, and I want to get to the top. And yeah, I think.
So you say, sorry to interrupt, but you say you want to get to the top, right? And you're going to jewelry quarter at how old?
I'm 19.
Okay, so you're 19 when you're going into jewelry
Yeah.
quarter. Most people at 19 years old, this is what most people would tell themselves, right?
Yeah.
People would do this at 35 years old. People do this at 12 years old. They always say, you know what, I'm getting into it a bit too late. Because you hear these stories about boxers that are boxing from when they're 4 years old, 5 years old, and then they bring the clips up and they're really they're looking good at 5 years old. So you're thinking, wow, didn't you ever think these guys have got so much of a jump on me? It's going to be extremely difficult to reach the top if I can reach that.
Of course, before I started boxing, I did my research, and I am a super heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight, and I did my research on previous super heavyweights, previous heavyweights out there that are killing the scene, and age wasn't really a problem. Age is something that did not pull them back. If you look at boxers like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, they all started 18, 19 years old, and look at them now. They're absolutely they're the top. So I think. For the weight I'm at, age did not really, pull me down or make me feel any way. I just thought if I just get my head down now, I can get there, just like they did. So.
Okay, so I guess those people you could draw comparisons from.
Yeah,
if they're super heavyweight, right? So the other weights are probably a bit more sticky.
Definitely.
But okay. I mean, I was saying, I know that it was Lucas Brown, wasn't it, that got into when he was like 20, late 20s or 30s. So you're right. But again, I think people do still, I'm not in that example, but people definitely use age as a thing where, you know what, I can't do that because look at when he started fighting. Canelo, he started fighting grown people when he was 16. So middleweights might start when the box when they're 17 and think, you know what, there's no way I can make it to the top. Maybe I can win a local championship or a national championship. But I think personally, I feel that when people do that, it's just the thing that they're scared of reaching reaching their potential. People prefer to have something. I mean, it's a great excuse. It's a perfect excuse. Age is a perfect excuse not to do something.
Yeah, of course.
People say 35 years old, I've been working for so long, I can't start a business. People at 16 will say, I'm too old to get into football, but there's so much examples you can give. And I love that you did the research and you saw people and you said, you know what? I might be not them and it's a different path, but you know what? It has been done, so I can do that. So 100%, I love it. So we're in jewelry quarter. Sparring a couple of guys looking good.
Yeah, sparring.
So when did the conversation come about having your first fight, and how are your parents taking this now?
Okay, so I've talked to them about the boxing thing a couple of months before I joined jewelry quarter, and of course they wasn't, especially my dad, he wasn't very enthusiastic about it. But I told him, just give me a chance, let me show you, I'll show you how it is. And he goes, yeah, he accepted it because I'm older now, 18, 19, I can make my own choice, make my own decisions and choices. But yeah, when I had my first fight, obviously they went out to support the family. At the end of the day, they will support you, no matter what. And yeah, I think I would like to say that they were surprised on my performance because I beat their expectations.
Okay.
But yeah, I won that comfortably. And
very comfortable. Talk us through you. Talk us through your first fight. Wait, hold on. Let's go back, because I remember competing in MMA for my first time, and there was a lot of mixed emotions. But let's talk about. This is not about me, people. Let's talk about you going into your first fight.
Yeah.
Haven't come from a background of fighting.
No.
haven't come. You're not. You said not a naturally aggressive person, but you're athletic, and I think a lot of the things you take. Would you say you really took anything from basketball
Definitely.
and converted it into boxing?
Yeah,
what would you
100%.
say?
I would say footwork played a massive role.
Okay.
Being able to move your feet and moving your, getting your feet together and stumbling all over the place. Posture and just being able to, be, just constantly, I don't know, how do I say it? Like, your heart rate's constantly up.
Okay.
Basically,
Like
good
energy
aerobic endurance.
That's
Muscular
the key
endurance.
word. That's the key
it.
word.
That's it. Just
okay.
keeping that up there, keeping it high, and that's something I was able to take from basketball to boxing. But
So it didn't give you any. So going into your first fight, basketball was out the window, all right? There was nothing that prepared you for this moment. Stepping into a ring against another man.
I was able to control my nerves a little bit. I think because even in basketball you would get nervous before a big game, but yeah, it definitely allowed me to control my nerves and keep me composed. I think mentality is everything as well, and that's one thing I'm learning. I'm starting to learn now. Mentality is key. If you could control your mind, you control everything. This is exactly what Klitschko said, and Klitschko said that, and he said that to the camera when I was watching one of his interviews, and I thought, wow, this hit me hard. If you control your mind, you control everything, and that's something I'm starting to learn now. I'm starting to get like a real grasp of. Yeah. When I started, it was something that I just thought, I have to it wasn't something that I paid attention to, but I kind of did anyway. But now I'm starting to understand it more. Control your mind and control everything,
At, 21? You're 21 now?
Yeah, I'm 21.
So at 21, you're mastering this mind
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
And at 19,
definitely.
you're already thinking about it.
Definitely. It took me a while. It took me obviously about 2-3 years to understand it. Not even get a hold of it, but understand that if you can control what you are thinking and internally, you can literally control everything, and you could dictate how you feel. You don't have to let things externally dictate how you feel, and that is something I'm starting to learn now.
That's huge. So going into that fight, did you feel your mind was in the right place?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it felt like it was in the right place. I still, because I was inexperienced. I didn't really know what to expect, and it was new. And I was nervous. I'm not saying I wasn't nervous. I was, but yeah, definitely, my mind did play a key role in it. Yeah.
That's great. No, it's admirable, definitely. So you go into your first fight, your mind's on the ball, and you see that in the physical sense. I'm guessing it manifested. So tell us how the first fight went.
Oh, the first fight. I watch it back and I laughed to myself. I think I was a little bit too hyper.
Okay.
But it was a decent fight. I think it stopped. It was about 40 seconds long. To be fair.
That's it.
First round.
Wow. Okay. The guy's mind was in the right place. I'm guessing that. Okay. I mean, hopefully we can post up some clips to the first video. Is that possible?
Yeah.
No, that'd be huge. That'd be great to see.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's 1 win, 1 knockout.
Yeah.
So you must be. Was you in a pretty ecstatic state? Like, you know what? I want to jump back in the ring as quick as possible.
I think I fought like 2 weeks after that again. I fought 2 weeks after, and I beat him again. That was on decisions.
Okay.
But, so I started to get on the ball, and I started to get the ball rolling of the fights that I was having.
And you're how old when you're fighting now?
I was 19 still.
19 still. So
years
not
old.
long after you got into jury quarter, you
Yeah. So as soon as I joined, I probably about 3 months started fighting.
Oh, okay. That's a quick. So did they see again? Did they kind of push you into it? And
Yeah.
say, you know what?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I'm very happy with them pushing me and telling me, your time is now. You go and get it now, because I'll be thinking to myself, maybe I still need to train a little bit. And,
Time's never right.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay, so did you have a lot of other people your weight? Because are you a super heavyweight?
Yeah, super heavyweight.
So what's that? Right. What's that? How did you
so it's 91 plus. So if you are 91 kilograms and up, you are super heavyweight.
Super heavyweight.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so is there a lot of people for you to spar?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say a lot. So as I'm starting to get up there, you can kind of name the guys that I could spar.
Okay.
But there's a handful. There's still,
a few?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still a good few.
That's good. Having someone your weight pushing you the whole time, kind of. Was there anyone else that started the same time as you and was fighting alongside?
Yeah.
So
I have a one of my we've been boxing. So I started the judo court at the same time, and that is like a brother to me now. And you know, we're both working together to put boxing on the Birmingham heavyweight boxing in Birmingham, let people know, and yeah, we've been working together since we both started at Jewelry Court at the same time. We both pushed each other in the ring. Good. We go support each other. We go on, when he goes out to fight, when I go out to fight, and yeah, man, it's like a proper brother connection going on.
And what's his name?
Bomber Brown.
Okay, and
yeah,
he's competing as well?
He's competing as well. We're both pushing each other on.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, love that. So you have your first fight, have your second fight, you on decision.
Yeah.
So you're like the Mayweather amateur boxing. you're doing well. So, let's talk about your first loss.
My first loss was in Haringey, actually. That was my first.
Interesting.
Haringey. It was Haringey. So I had 5 fights then. That was my fifth fight.
New, yeah.
And the guy was quite experienced in amateur boxing. So we just thought, why not just step up? I was doing very well. I was on the streak of 4 wins. So why not just test yourself and try it? Unfortunately I didn't get the decision. But yeah, it was a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
It was, especially if you think you're going to win. You thought you was going to win. It was very, very close. And I remember coming out there it was horrible. Imagine putting in work for something and, making sure you eat right and sacrificing and, then just coming out and not getting what you want, what you worked for weeks and months. It wasn't a very good feeling at all. But it did push me and make me stronger, a lot stronger.
It did.
Mentally. And I thought, you know what, I'll just get back in the gym and I'll work. And that's exactly what happened. Nothing changed.
So you took a lot away from that fight in a positive kind of term.
Definitely. It made me so much stronger. I think my coach was telling me as well, the pressure of holding a clean kind of record is very, very difficult in amateurs, even in professional boxing as well. But as an amateur boxer, I think it's very, very difficult to hold a clean record. So once I faced that loss, I came back thinking, all right, okay, so I've lost now, so there's no pressure anymore. Yeah. But I still went in. I went in very, very hard. And trained very hard. Nothing changed. My mood didn't go down. Well, it went down for about 10 minutes after the fight. But after that, I was ready to go back.
That's super. You're superhuman. Honestly, I can tell you, everybody now, even now, in this great kind of mental space that I'm in, if I lost a fight and I lost this clean streak, and I had a vision of being, doing great things in the sport, I'd probably be beat up for like a week or two before. I might have trained, but in my mind. But did you find you proved something to yourself in that fight? Do you always go into a fight thinking you're gonna win?
Yeah, definitely. I go in there thinking 100% I'm gonna win. Okay. There's no way this guy's gonna beat me. That's all I think. Because I'm not going in there cocky. I understand. The reason why I say that is because I know the work that I have put in. Yeah. I understand. If I genuinely did not work for it, then I wouldn't lie to myself. Yeah. I genuinely believe that I win because of the work I put in, and I don't believe anybody out there is putting in as much work as I am. Okay. As I have. That's why I go in there thinking I'm going to win, and that's why I was heartbroken when I found out that I didn't.
Got you. Yeah. Okay, but you said the guy was pretty experienced.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Was he ranked at all?
He was very experienced. He won the development championships the year before. Okay. So he knew what he was doing. He was very good. Very, very good boxer.
Interesting. All right. So after that, you win your next fight.
So after that, I enter the development championships.
Okay, which is what? Can you tell?
So development championships is the under 10. So under 10 fights. So if you have under 10 fights, you can enter the championships. So if you win that, you'll be the best under 10 fighter.
Oh, got you. Okay.
In the UK. So I entered that, and that tested me, man. I had 5 fights in a row, so I had 1 fight a week for 5 weeks. Okay. And I travelled all the way around, all around the UK, and yeah, I managed to win that. I got the gold.
Congrats, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, so that was a huge achievement. That was the first big step in, making a statement and telling people that I'm here and I'm ready and I'm going to the top.
Are your parents supporting you at this stage? Or are they still
100%.
Kind of,
Yeah, no, 100%. I think my family supported me after the first fight. So after the first fight, they was like, okay, maybe this is what DJ really wants to do. And yeah, ever since then.
And that shows, doesn't it? Like, it shows when you put in 100% into it, and not to relate it to me, but I know when I was starting my business, everybody kind of said to me, you know what, because I was having my first child at the time as well. Everybody was telling me, you know what, the best thing to do is provide for your child, go and find a job. Now, the provision part, I understand 100%, but the job part, especially the jobs that were kind of was showing me, was not me at all. Now, I could have done that and been unhappy, and then grew up and still been unhappy and bitter and said, I could have done this, I could have done that. And then another thing would be, how could I tell my child, you know what, always follow your dreams and always do great things if that's not what I did? So rather than do that, what I said, like what you're saying, it resonates with me so much, because I said, you know what, okay, I might be coming into this, some people might have started, some people might have the resources, but I'm going to work ridiculously hard just to get where I need to get, because I know where I need to go, because it was something inside me that I couldn't let go. And 6 years later, the business is doing well. And so it's great. And sorry, what I was saying, because I came off on a tangent, is that the people that would say that, and again, they love us so much, that's why they're trying to protect us. But when they see the work we put in and the benefits to us and where it's going, they get on board. And that's how it is, people. Don't think you're going to fall out with your parents or your guardians or friends just because you're following a different path. Initially, they might be so-so, but it's your path. You follow it, and things will happen, and you'll find mentors. Like, you've got a jury court, and now it seems like you've got a great team behind you.
Definitely.
I see the posts and I see the guys, and it seems great. All right, so you win that.
Yeah, so I win the novices. Then I move on to win the British University Championships for the first time. And I actually I wasn't even expected to win that, actually, because again, I had I haven't had that much experience, but yeah.
So how much fights did you have when you won it?
So I win it 9. I had 8.
Wow.
Oh no, so after the novices, I won it for the second time, actually. So the first time was before Harrogate.
So you won it on how many fights?
I won it. So the first time I won it was on my third fight.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I won it on my third fight.
To even enter on your third fight is something people don't necessarily. They want to try and cherry pick lesser opponents to pad their record. But you're saying, you know what, I'm in this, and I believe that no matter who's in front of me. Third fight.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Third fight.
So you win it the second time.
Yeah. On my ninth fight. Yeah.
So you're the defending champion at this point, right?
Champion Yeah. Second time I win it.
Were you gonna defend that again this year?
Yeah, I will do it. I'll go again.
Nice.
So I'll hopefully go for 4 years and 4 golds.
So what title is that?
So this is it's called the British University title. So it's like it's basically just like the unis competing. So if you go to university and you're a boxer, you can compete. That's it.
Okay, so I mean, we didn't even touch on the kind of the university side. So what are you studying at university?
Economics. Studying at Aston University. Yeah, this is my second year. I've just finished my second year.
Okay.
Going into my third. 4
Everything
years.
passed?
Yeah,
good. I would have edited it out if you said no, don't worry about it. Okay, congrats. So is that an interest of yours as well, economics?
Yeah, definitely. So like, I'm academic as well. I like my maths, and so yeah, that's something
now I get it.
Something I do on we'll say I do on the side. That's also a major part of my life. Like,
it's huge.
Because economics is it's a serious course that you have to. If you don't, stay on track, you would just be left behind. So I make sure I catch up, and as well as train, I catch up and read the books and make sure I stay ahead.
Important. Yeah. Okay, there's 2 things I want to touch on there. I'm getting it more because you said maths is your thing, so you're a thinking fighter.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
That's perfect, because I think a lot of people come into the game and they think they'll do well if they're aggressive in boxing, right?
Yeah.
It's the thinkers that are going to dominate, like the Lomachenko's, like I mean, you name it. Who else is a good thinker that you could say? I mean, there's a lot throughout time. You got guys that are sharp. Even like, I mean, obviously the one that you drop is Ali, very intelligent, sharp, and when he boxes, intelligent. So that's your style of fighting. So when you're looking at the links, people, let's see if that matches up. Do you see it? Let's see if we still stylish fight. Okay, so economics is a big thing of yours.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to? I mean, that's kind of leading. I would say, what is the importance of doing economics and the boxing? Why not really just focus on the boxing and get like a part-time job just to fund the boxing? Do you think it's important to have both, or is it just your personal choice?
You see, with the education side of it, I think a major kind of influencer for me is my parents.
Okay.
They've always wanted me to go to university.
Got
I think
you.
that's one of their goals is through me just go to university. So there's something that I want to achieve for them. So just to go to university and get a degree. But yeah, boxing is definitely a thing for me. It's like my own kind of ambition and goals. So yeah, I can juggle the both.
You can juggle the both. Nice. So if boxing didn't work out, would economics and that kind of field be something that you still get into and still enjoy?
Definitely. Economics is something I generally actually do enjoy doing.
Okay.
So it's not something like it just drags or something I just find boring I'm doing on the side. No, it's just something I generally do enjoy doing. So, and I'd say they're two kind of really different things, but I'd say it's kind of a good thing because you can always get your mind off one thing as you do the other.
Yeah.
So as I box, I train. When I come home, when I come back to my accommodation, I don't sometimes, because I do it so much, I want to get my mind off it, and so I do that through studying or economics or do something else then.
That takes you away.
Yeah, or even the other way, vice versa. I'm studying all day, and then at the end of the day, I'll go to the gym and I'll train. Let all the anger out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're both balanced, and they both do well for me.
So it's a huge balance in life of kind of like your personal enjoyment and, well, I guess university can be your personal enjoyment too. It's just different, right? It's just the different aspects of life. And as you said, balance is key. All right, so taking a lot of wins, you've won a title on your third, you defended it on your ninth, right?
Yeah.
Going forward, your second loss, when did that come?
So after the British Unis, which is my second time when I won that, I was told very, very short notice that I should be entered into the elites ABAs, and I'll have about 12 then.
Okay.
So I had about 12 fights, and normally you would enter the ABAs, the elites, when you've had about 20, 25 minimum. About minimum, so because you'll be facing guys who've had 30, 40 fights. So yeah, and I was told that I was going to be entered it, and I thought, I was supposed to be entered it next year, but I was told, I'll just try it, just do it earlier. So I thought, that's fine, no, I'll do it, because at the end of the day, by this point, I found out that amateur boxing, it's not wins. Mm-hmm. It's you're learning from, you're learning. Even if there's no such thing as a loss, you learn. If you find someone who's better than you learn from it.
Of course.
And I fought in the quarterfinals of the elite ABAs, and I lost on a split decision to a very, very, very experienced and very good fighter. So I just took it. I thought, fair enough. I've got the experience. It was my first elite fight. I took it and I thought, okay, fine. I know what to work with now, and I know how I can improve in the future. So I took the loss and I just went back to the gym, and I kept going. I kept working. Nothing changed again. Literally the next day, I went back in the training.
And is that that's admirable, because is that your inner dialogue that will tell you, what, let's get back to work, or are your coaches kind of like saying, this is what we need to do and let's get back to work?
Definitely, my coaches play a role, and that tell me, that this is just learning, and it definitely did help with my development in coping with how to take a loss.
Yeah,
but it's definitely internal, and how you inside can cope with a loss and carry on, and accepting it and moving on. So it's all internal, not external.
Got you. Love it. All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty now. So you took these life lessons, you've had this goal since you've been boxing. It's been a short time, but you've dedicated yourself to it, which is more important than the time that you spent on it.
Definitely.
Because you can be involved in something for 20 years. I hear people all the time, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 years, but what have you really done in jiu-jitsu, right? Okay, so that's something that comes up. So you've been in this for a very short amount of time, but you gave it your all.
Everything.
Last weekend, my friend. Talk us through the tournament that you've entered, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
So I got because I entered into the elites already, I was unable to enter in any other lower. So on the 20s,
got you.
On the 20s or on the 10s, because I entered elites, I have to stay as an elite fighter. And so I thought, okay, so I've learned from my first elite fight. I've learned from that, and now I know what to expect a little bit. I've done a lot of sparring with elite fighters, and so I thought, okay, my coach obviously paid a big part in it and told me and advised me, yeah, I think this is right, you could do it. And I thought, okay, fine, we'll fight in the Haringey Box Cup.
And tell people about the Haringey Box Cup.
The Haringey Box Cup is like the biggest European amateur boxing tournament. So it's the one to win. All the big, big British boxers, have won it. You got the Joshua, the Anthony Yard, O'Hara Davis, Carl Froch, you name it, they've won it.
Taylor, Nicola Adams. Yeah, you're right.
The big names have won it, and it's definitely a medal to win as an amateur boxer. And yeah, I went in there, and I thought, okay, let's see what happens.
Still expecting to win, honestly.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. I went in there and I thought I worked hard for it. I am expected to win this. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure on me to win it. But like I said, last week, really, my mind played a huge part. Being able to control it.
Yeah.
Not even by controlling it. Not even controlling it. Letting it do what it wants to do. So controlling it by not controlling it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So allowing it to, be nervous, or allowing it to just take that take the energy and just trying to convert it and make it positive. And that weekend was about 4 days of just doing that, managing myself, doing it properly. And yeah, that allowed me to, get the win on the Sunday.
Win on the Sunday. This guy took the gold medal in the biggest amateur European boxing tournament. On how many fights do you finish on when you won?
So I finished on 16 fights.
That's crazy. Listen to this. 60. Yeah. I feel like rewinding the podcast and listening to that again. 16 fights and you win gold. Some tough fights, I'm guessing, throughout.
Tough fights, and huge respect goes out to them. There was proper. They really did test me.
Okay.
Test my mind, they tested me physically. They wanted it as bad as I did as well. And yeah, huge respect. I'm not the type of person to say, oh yeah, I'm better than that.
I wanted that. I was going to promote the hell out of this.
I am not like that. And huge respect goes to them. They were tough fighters. I'm just happy that I did get the win at the end.
Love it. So mentally taxing, physically taxing.
Definitely.
You come out with a gold medal. You must have knew. Did you know some of the names that were entered kind of in your category? So you 16, 15, you're going in on there on like what 14, 15 fights? No, so it would have been
about
how much?
So it would be my 14th. So my first fight will be my 14th.
14th fight. Yeah. So going in there, you're like the biggest underdog. I bet everybody kind of wants you, really, right? They're like, okay, let's take this guy and let's get higher.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, definitely. I was.
Do you think that helped at all? Or no?
You know what? I like being the underdog.
Yeah.
I actually like that. It's something you don't really have that much pressure from everybody else.
You're
and you could just go in there and you learn. That's all you're doing, learning. So,
but you're the big dog now, so
slowly I'm getting there.
How does it change?
What? So after the
does it change anything for you?
I'm literally the same mentality.
Probably your opponents, it changes something.
I guess so. But as I finished, as I got the gold, I finished, and I thought, I'm thinking now, all right, how are we gonna improve?
Yeah.
The same mentality. I have the same mentality. Nothing's changed. I'm just going to be doing the same thing because obviously, evidently, it's working.
Something's working, yeah.
So why not?
Something's working. No, that's huge. So what is next? Okay, in a boxing kind of point of view, that's the biggest competition.
Yeah. I would be entering into more tournaments because I'm still 16 fights. I need more.
Still young, yeah.
I need to get my name out there. I can always get my name out there. So I'll be competing in a lot more tournaments. Obviously, my next big one is to win the Elite ABAs. That's all I want. That's all I've got my focus on. Anything else is just, okay, I'm going to get my bouts up, but that's my main focus. Okay. Elite ABAs, that's all I got my mind and soul on. Everything else comes afterwards. But right now, it's that.
Do you want to avenge that loss against the guy that you had in it, or do you not think about that? Or do you think, I wish I could just show them the progression and get one back on them?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's for me. But boxing is not personal. It's not a personal thing. It's like football or basketball. You lose. Okay, fair enough. You lose, and you just go back and you work on what ways you can improve on. I never take it personally. It's the amount of work you put in is what you get out of it. So never take it personally. You just go back and you just train and you come back. It's a sport at the end of the day. It's not a street fight. It's controlled. So I never take boxing personally.
Okay.
It's a sport, and I'll work my ass. I'll really do work. and see what happens.
I'm sure great things are going to happen. I mean, you set a good bar, but I think, as you said, all you can ever do is work on what you can control, right?
Exactly.
And one thing we can all control is effort all the time. So we can decide how much we're going to put in. Like, you couldn't decide if you was going to win any tournaments that you entered ever, right? But you decided to enter them. That's what you had control over, and you had control over how much effort you can put in there. And on the day, you can't control what the judges decide because you see some funny decisions. But they've been going your way, so I'm not going to say they're funny. They've been all right so far. So, no, definitely. I mean, we look forward to seeing a lot more of you in the future.
Thank you very much, man.
There's been a lot. There's been some other things, some kind of topics that I want to cover just because we've got a bit more time. You was on BBC, a BBC show. How did that even come about?
It was Channel 5.
Okay,
Channel 5
it wasn't BBC.
show.
BBC, pay me the bag later. I'm trying to promote BBC. All right,
It's
so
a Channel 5 gadget show.
okay, interesting. So how did that come about? Because you was doing boxing on there, wasn't you?
Yeah. So I have the gym that I'm with at the moment. The guy who owns the gym. He's been about. He's got connections. He knows people, and he just knows the guy that kind of runs Gadget Show, and he asked for a person that could box and he's likable, can talk, and of course he picked me.
It was delicious. Of course, what do you mean? Of course, it was delicious.
No, I was very humbled that he picked me, and so through him, solely through him, I was able to get the position, and
that was great.
Good
for exposure as well,
definitely,
really, right?
100%, definitely.
You're getting out there. I like it. So you doing some sparring with Tom Breeze, the UFC middleweight.
I've done.
How was a few times, maybe?
Yeah, a few times.
Oh,
I've
nice.
sparred. Hopefully, we'll do some more in the future. He's up and coming. He's the rising star, and his main thing. He doesn't even box. That's the thing. And him being able to box and really, really test me in the ring as well is great. It just shows how much of an amazing fighter he is. Because he's an MMA fighter, not really a boxer. So, and when we get in the ring, we box, and he's still put me in the back foot and he holds his own, testing me hard. So I give that guy mad respect, and he's gonna go far.
Yeah, I believe that as well. I mean, he looked incredible in his last fight. Everybody go check out Tom Breeze, and he's fighting soon. And don't quote me on this, and I'll edit it out anyway if I'm wrong. UFC Moscow, I believe he's fighting, and he wanted a quick turnaround after he got a quick finish in his last fight, and he faced some adversity. But definitely check out Tom. All right, so just to kind of wrap everything up, not thinking about professional right now, are you really?
No, I think it's still early days for me.
Still think it's early days?
Yeah. I'm still looking to get my experience up as an amateur boxer.
Okay.
I want to be a professional boxer with that as a prospect. I want to be looked on as a prospect.
Okay.
So, and I think in order to do that, you need to really rack up the amateur pedigree and let people know who you are through the amateurs kind of stage, and then turn over experienced and ready for the horrible world of professional boxing.
Yeah, it can be. You can get exploited. I think a lot of people do see the money, and I think, especially kind of where you're at right now, and you, as you said, you're a very likable character, very charismatic. I think, and you're winning. That's the main thing, right? You can be all that, but if you're not winning, people will come to you with different offers. But I think knowing what you want, definitely yourself. Do you set goal? Are you big on setting goals for yourself, or?
I see at the moment. Well, my goal now is just to win the elites. I don't know.
That's your key.
That's just what I'm focused on.
Okay. What about after that? Have you thought kind of like 3 years?
Yeah, see, that's why I have my coach do that for me. My coach, he's the guy, and he's the one who's really making goals and that for me.
Okay.
That's because I feel like he knows, he's more experienced, he's been there, done that. I feel like if I do, I mean, it's not like I just don't set goals, it's just the fact that I feel like he's a lot more experienced, he really knows what he's doing, so I kind of put my faith and trust in him. Yeah. Do
you think you could take out some of the top 20 heavyweights in the world right now?
I'm not calling that. I don't want to put myself in a hole, I'll tell you afterwards.
All right, tell me off fight. All right, good. All right, what do you say to people that say, don't box? Boxing makes aggressive people more aggressive. Or boxing's just too violent anyway. It's a violent sport, and there's nothing that can really be taught, because a lot of people still do believe that. What do you tell them people?
I tell that's absolutely, I can't say a bull.
Yeah, you can say that.
No, absolutely no. But boxing is not for, I mean, no, it doesn't. I mean, I'm not aggressive at all. I don't have any fighting background. I don't fight on the streets or anything like that. But I'm managing to find success in boxing. So aggression, I mean, I wouldn't even say it helps. It's kind of like a front. I feel like an aggression. I feel like if you're aggressive, you're kind of putting a front on something. Maybe you're trying to cover something up, trying to cover fear. But I'm not like that. I accept fear and I accept it. Like it's a normal thing that humans have through evolution and all that. So I just accept it and I just train and box.
Embrace it and attack.
Yeah, embrace
right?
fear. Embrace fear. Take it on and see if you can manage it and see.
And it's incredible. And do you believe that boxing can teach people from, I guess, underprivileged and disadvantaged backgrounds things about life?
Definitely,
about
100%. Boxing has taught me so much about self-discipline, and it's just taught me about if you put in work, you would get something out of it. It's obviously literal in boxing. It actually is literal, but I feel like that's with anything in life. If you put in work, you get something out of it. I feel like boxing has taught me so much about sacrifice. I feel like you need to sacrifice some things in order to get what you want, and it's also taught me that maybe in life you do have to be selfish to get what you want as well. And but yeah, harsh lessons, but I feel like they've definitely made me a better person, a more stronger person, ready to tackle life.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great. That was a perfect answer. Any boxers? Who's your favorite boxer ever?
Ever.
And why? Yeah.
Alive or
any? No. Don't have to be alive.
I don't know. There's something about Mike Tyson I just love. I love Mike Tyson, and I love him because he's, I don't know. It's just something. I don't know.
I think what most people love about Mike is that he was just Mike. Like there was
He's
any
literally-
smoke and mirrors.
He's won a million, not even 1 million, 1 billion. I don't think there will ever be another guy like that. The way he moves, the way he thinks. There's never going to be another guy like that. So that's probably why I think he's really special in the boxing kind of community. Yeah.
Is there anybody you could, if you had to compare your style to one fighter, who would you say is most like? Any fight, any weight, it could be any weight category.
That's a good question. You know what? I don't. This is surprising. I don't normally. I don't watch. I do watch boxers and I do watch them.
Yeah.
I like their style and all that stuff, but I don't think I like to box the way I box. I like to do things. I don't really try and copy any other old school or now fighters. I just do the way I think works for me. And me and my coach was having this conversation. He was saying, because I told him, yeah, coach, I don't really I do look up to boxers, but I don't say, yeah, I want to be like that. I just think I want to do my own thing. And my coach says that's the best thing to do. Just be yourself. You don't need to copy or do it. Try and be like any other boxer. Just be
authentic.
Yourself.
You find a lot of people try to be
exactly.
somebody else to try to shoulder roll like Mayweather. And
exactly.
Just
Just look at different boxers. Observe, analyze them, and just mix them around and mix different styles up and see what works for you. You don't have to be a copy of any other person.
That's it.
Just do you. Just do
you,
exactly.
man. All right. That being said, Warrior World, do you. That's what we're going to leave you with. But no, I hope that you can take a lot away, because I've taken a lot away. And then I do admire a lot of the traits that you've shown through failure, through changing paths and having an initial goal, but not being afraid to embrace something else and really give it your all to decide what your journey is. I mean, there's a lot of things I take away going back from this. And everybody, watch out I promise you, watch out for this guy, because I don't always reach out to Delicious, right? But all I do, I sit back, and if I see he's got a competition coming up, like, I know there's going to be another post following saying something's going on, right? So even when this one, I was just waiting for the pictures, and I saw it, and I was like, come on, like I didn't expect nothing else. But if you're following this guy, just follow his Instagram. Where can we find you?
You find me on Instagram. I'm mostly just on Instagram now, but I do have to. People have been telling me you have to broaden up your horizons a little bit. Yeah. But I'm on Instagram now. It's delicious.io9. But I will broaden up a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, like Delicious full stop I09.
Yeah, I09. Yeah.
Okay, so check out Delicious on Instagram, and he's going to broaden up his pages. So hopefully we can post some pages and the links for when this goes. But follow this young man's journey. Sponsors, get in touch with him. I'm going to be his hype. Sponsors, get in touch with him now before it's too late. Ages, everybody, get in touch now because this guy's going to blow. No, I promise he's going to blow, and I love that. But before we go, is there any questions, Nico?
Kind of summed it all up, to be fair.
Yeah.
But imagine in a situation where you're about to say something, but this would be the last thing you say, and the whole world is listening, everybody's tuned in and everything like that.
Yeah.
What would be the last thing you'd leave for everybody to hear?
What a tough question. This guy, he's gonna do the, listen, guys. This guy's doing a podcast next week.
That's a tough question. That it hit me hard.
Yeah.
Okay,
wow.
if I have to say, I'll be 100% honest. Yeah, the last thing I have to say is, yeah, do what makes you happy and do not impress or try and impress anybody else, because you are here and you're not trying to impress anybody. You are here for you, so do you.
That was it, so I kind of got in there as well. All right, no, thank you. That's Delicious. Nico Chambers has been on the sound and on the pictures. Myself, Daryl Chambers here. This is the first ever podcast. Thank you for everybody that's listening throughout. Please follow the journey. Please subscribe on all platforms. We literally will be everywhere, including the video format on YouTube. Thank you for being a part of this journey, Warrior World. We out.